It's my third coffee today and I have zero regrets. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to another Koze Daily Brew. Today I thought I would take a topic from the requests on the community page and talk about how to not lose yourself in a relationship. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I've been through a few relationships in my life, and so I feel like I have learned quite a few lessons about this particular subject along the way, and I figured I would share my input at least on how I like to basically not lose myself in relationships. We're going through a big phase in the world right now where I feel like we're seeing a lot of girl power and just a lot of queens out there, and I think that it's super important, but I also think that it comes from, this whole, when Taylor Swift had her girl crew and just all of that. I feel like that's a really powerful movement that we're seeing lately, but I also think that sometimes it can put this mentality on relationships, or this mentality on love, or mentality at least for females, that you shouldn't want love or you shouldn't want a relationship, and that strength only comes from being single and showing and proving to the world that you don't need a man. I think that there's a lot of thoughts that I have on that, but one of the big things is I feel like it can be very misleading, because I don't think that there's anything wrong with wanting love, wanting, a relationship with someone else, wanting to build your life with someone else, wanting to connect and share moments and memories and really build a foundation for your life with somebody else, be it another guy, girl, whatever, whoever you love. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting love in your life. I think that's kind of what the whole point of life in a lot of ways is. It's not always romantic love, but I definitely think romantic love is one of the most beautiful ways to experience love. But I think that also love can be one of those potions that really does kind of take over. When you fall in love, it really does affect all the areas of your life. Food tastes better, colors are brighter, you just feel all around lighter and happier. But at the same time, it's kind of like a fine line between walking that rope and feeling those things and not getting so wrapped up in those feelings that you end up losing yourself, or at least losing who you were before the relationship. So here are the tips and tricks that at least I find help me. The first one is to prioritize your passions, your goals. Just prioritize yourself. I think that even if you're in a relationship or you're not, whether you are a very extroverted person, you spend a lot of time with other people, or you don't, no matter what, you always have to keep yourself on your priority list, and not in an egotistical way or in a way that's just kind of I need myself above everybody else. But I think that it's important, no matter what relationship you're talking about, that you always prioritize your personal time, your personal goals, your personal needs, and self-care and all of that. I think that a lot of the times when we get in relationships, it can be, especially longer term relationships, it can be really easy to forget your own hobbies. It can be easy to let go of the things that maybe you and your partner don't have in common. Let's say, for instance, you're someone that loves to go on walks every morning, and then you get into a relationship and that relationship starts to progress. Maybe you start living together and the person that you are with doesn't like to go for walks in the morning, so you let go of that part of yourself. That's where I think that prioritizing your own personal, hobbies, goals, whatever it is super, super important. I don't think that you can do all of the things that you did before, especially as your relationship starts to get stronger and longer. When you've been with someone for years, or you end up married to somebody, odds are a lot of the times you are going to have to give some sacrifice to the things that you like to do in your life, as do they. But that's a longer thing down the road, right? If we're just talking even about the earlier stages of a relationship, I think it's really important not to let go of those things too soon. And when you do, to really, compromise with your partner and compromise on the things that you're willing to let go of, but the things that you're also this is important to me, and I'm going to need to do this either way. So maybe you do get up a little earlier than your partner and you go for a walk, and then by the time they get up, you're coming home and you enjoy coffee together. But whatever it is, don't let go of those things that make you you. Those are your hobbies. Those are your interests. Those are the little quirks and things, the times that you spend alone, the things that you love that fill you up, that don't necessarily need to fill up the other person or need to fill up anybody else aside from yourself. Another thing that I think can happen sometimes too in relationships, especially once you start to get into the comfort phase of a relationship, you know, you've been dating someone long enough and you're like, okay, I believe that this person really loves me for who I am. Screw the gym. I can eat whatever I want now. And you just kind of like, it can be common at least to let yourself go a little bit. And I feel like even in my own life, I've experienced that through little pockets and phases here. You know, I've slacked a little off at like with work, or I've slacked off on like little tiny things that are important to me because I'm like, oh, well, you know, this person's gonna love me either way. And that mindset can be very dangerous because I think that a lot of the times it's not the responsibility of the person that you're with or your significant other to inspire you to be a better person. But I definitely think that it is important to be with somebody who does make you want to be the best version of yourself. You should just want to be the best version of yourself in general, you know, for yourself. And so I think that especially when it comes to self-care, especially when it comes to, you know, doing the things that make you healthy, that make you happy, that take care of your health, that take care of your overall wellness, that take care of your mental health, that you should never get so comfortable that you think, I don't need to do those things anymore because this person's gonna fulfill me, because that's when dependency becomes an issue. That's when you become officially dependent on somebody else to basically love and care and nurture for you, and you no longer do those things for yourself. The second thing that I think is really important in terms of, or in order to not lose yourself in a relationship, is to prioritize the other people in your life too. This is, I feel like, one of the most common things that can sometimes happen when you get into a relationship is that you want to spend all your time with that person, and rightfully so, okay? You're in love and you're falling in love, and of course you want to just be wrapped up in that love story, but I think that it's super important to keep your eye on the people that were in your life before this person and who will probably be in your life for the rest of it. Just keep your eye on all the other people in your life. I've gone to a lot of bachelorette parties lately, this year, 3 actually. I just finished my sister's, and all of them I always walk away just being like, wow, friendships are so important. Like, for instance, when I went to my dad's fiance, okay, so basically my stepmom's bachelorette, it was so cool just hearing her friends talk about how they all have seen each other through so many moments and through so many boyfriends and through so many different phases and things in life. And I thought that that was really cool, just being like, wow, like I wonder what Larissa and I are going to talk about one day, or Christine and I, or Megs and I, or just Kira and I, my sister, or just whoever's in my life. Like, I wonder in 10 years, in 20 years, the memories that we're going to be talking about from all these times that we've spent together. And so when you get into a relationship and you stop spending time with those friends, those are the friends that are there for you through all the boyfriends, through all of the ups and downs, the broken hearts, and all of that. And I don't think that everyone in your life is in your life forever, but I definitely think that come the end of your life, odds are you're going to have a few people there, including your friends and family, that have seen you through it all. And so just be aware of that, because when you get into a relationship and you do want to spend all your time with this person, don't forget the people that are already there for you. Don't forget those friendships, and continue to nourish and nurture those friendships, because if this relationship works, or if it doesn't, hopefully it does, but in case it doesn't, those are the people that are those like non-negotiable relationships that are always going to be there and are always going to be in your life and are going to see you through all the things that happen to you when you are in love and when you're not, when you're brokenhearted, when you're not, you're just all of it, you know? So I feel like that's a big thing I've learned a lot from the bachelorette parties lately, is that friendship is so important, and you shouldn't isolate yourself to only that one person, especially when you get into a relationship, because it'll be you'll want to. You'll want to, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to. It's just whether or not you act on that want, you know? And the third thing that I think is important when it comes to not losing yourself in a relationship is a quote I heard recently that is, stay compatible by staying yourself. So I think that this is a really important quote, because if you think about it, when you fall in love with somebody and when someone falls in love with you, odds are, and hopefully, you fall in love with each other because of who you already are, not because of who you're trying to change each other to be. And so keep that in mind when you get into a relationship and you want to start making all these drastic changes because of the way that this other person lives their life. Hopefully that person loves you for exactly the way that you are and who you are. That's not to say that who you're with shouldn't inspire you to grow and evolve as a person, or that in life you won't grow and evolve as a person. I think it's important to change. I think it's important to be aware of the fact that you won't always be the exact same way. You're going to go through different haircuts, you're going to go through different tastes, you're going to go through different preferences in life, and that's totally normal. But I think that you shouldn't shift or change who you are in order to be more compatible to the person that you want to be with. Let's say, I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, so you start dating somebody and you find out that before they started dating you, they liked brunettes. I don't know where this is coming from, just roll with it. So you dye your hair brown, but you love being a blonde. This is gonna sound like I'm talking about experience because I recently went brown blonde, but I swear this is not from experience. I don't know where this one's coming from, but it's a really good example of it. That is a perfect example of, you know, changing who you are to try and be more compatible, or at least think you're going to be more compatible to the person you're being with. If the person you're with doesn't love you for who you already are, flaws and all, while you learn and grow as an individual more into yourself, then the relationship's not going to work, or it's doomed from the beginning anyways. So stay compatible with the person that you're with by staying yourself. Let them love you for exactly who you are, and if they don't, then let yourself find someone new. That sounds a little harsh. I don't mean it in such a harsh way, and I also don't think that you should just be so rigid in your ways that you're not willing to kind of, you know, shift and grow like we were talking about up in the first slot there, or the first pointer. But I think that it's just, I don't know, I feel like I'm over hitting the hammer on the head on this one, but I just think it's super important that when you stay yourself, that's how you stay compatible, because when you are yourself, that's when you should be most compatible with your partner, you know? So those are all the tips that I have in terms of how to stay yourself when you get into a relationship, but I want to hear what you guys think. So if you guys have anything to add, leave your tips and tricks and what you've learned in terms of how you stay yourself in relationships down below. And aside from that, I'll talk to all of you guys in tomorrow's Koze Daily Brew. Bye guys.